Hey guys, welcome back to the weekly recap show. This week we're going to be going over episodes 29 and 30. We have finally fully caught up to where we are in the campaign, which means episode 30 we just did this past Sunday. If you guys missed it, go ahead and stick around for this recap because this is going to be important moving forward for people to know the story. This week we've got Jacob back. Last week he had some stuff to do, so we've got him back this week, our wonderful DM. And then we've got...
so nice.
We've got... Hold on.
You did better on that intro, though.
I did, thank you.
It was decent.
Thanks
That
guys.
was probably the best one yet.
You know, I'm working on it. You know, we're jumping into chapter 2. I gotta be ready for these intros. Alright, also we have Abby who plays Thea. She's coming back this week to help us kind of talk about moving into a new part of our story. And as always, everyone else was busy, but we also didn't really have anyone to go this week. So I was like, Abby, please help. Then we also got Zach, obviously, as always, our head moderator. And we have me, who plays Animus. Alright, let's go ahead and just jump into this one. So we're just gonna kind of have the full recap right now, then we're gonna go into mostly just a conversation, maybe a couple questions thrown around from different members of the group. But yeah, so starting off with episode 29, we had me and Zygon, Animus and Zygon had been taken into holding for a crime they didn't commit. The classic, you know, they didn't commit the crime. But yeah, so they were said to have killed, or they were said to be put up to killing Grinsbale, which they both had been in the house at the time, but Grinsbale was not killed by any of the Flagon Slayers. I think Zygon was there that morning, so they had some sort of evidence on him that morning. Tabitha ended up, I'm pretty sure, talking or telling someone, but we were set up pretty much by Tabitha, and so me and Zygon sitting and holding. The rest of the group had to get us out. They decided to go and get Mathis's help, who was in Western at the time. He had been messaged by Thea, and he was already on his way back. Because he had actually heard about it before we had messaged him about it. So he's on his way back. The rest of the group come and meet him. Where did they meet him, Jacob?
The Alabaster Lyceum.
Yeah.
No, it was the Transverse Junction.
Oh, yeah. The
in the thing, though, right?
It was close to it. Yeah, it was close to it. Yeah. It was next to it. To it.
Yeah, they're in the same district.
Yeah.
You were in the ballpark.
You're close.
Okay.
All right, so in the Transverse Junction is where they met Mathis. So Mathis pretty much tells them the best way to go around doing this is by getting the people that we had talked to and gotten information from, one of those being Zygon's wife, and the other one being that one girl who I forget her name right now. Jacob, what was her name?
Matilda.
Yeah, Matilda. She is, what was her position in the city? I'm forgetting. This is Hunter's conversation.
She was Grinsbale's lieutenant.
Okay, yes. So Matilda swing, something like that. Swayed. So Matilda, she's the other one that we need to get her help. Hunter had gotten her drunk a few episodes before, and that's how he got the information out of her. So yeah, they go out, and I think Thea and Braun and the rest of the group had gone out and to get those two people. They got Zygon's wife first, and she said yes to help out Zygon, but she was also a little bit timid on doing it because she didn't. She was kind of fearing for her safety and her daughter's safety. Matilda didn't really want to help at first, but I think Hunter was able to persuade her over to coming in and helping. So both of them ended up coming in, as well as Mathis, giving their statements about how we were innocent, and then Mathis also had cleared our names. While that was happening, me and Zygon had a conversation about how we're trying to figure out what's going on with these two demons that are giving us power, because they're not only giving us power, they're also kind of controlling our lives. There's not much we can do to get out of our current situations unless we want to die. So we kind of had a conversation about like we need to figure this out because they're completely controlling us right now and putting us against each other, and we don't know what to do. But yeah, we started kind of talking about maybe trying to watch that a little and try to get ahead of them. And then we also we had a small conversation about how we didn't actually want Zygon's wife to get involved. And then Zygon's wife walks in and she's completely involved now. But that is no one's fault because nobody knew we didn't want her involved. And then Mathis comes in. He has a conversation with us. I got a little information out of him about how to kill demons because I thought that might be a little useful for me and Zygon. And then Zygon's wife walks in after Mathis comes in and tells us we're pretty much clear. And she and Zygon have a conversation about being able to talk again. And he goes, him going to like see his daughter and stuff. And she also kind of has this conversation with him about how she's going to be moving out to Vasselheim to continue some more work. And then she heads out. So the rest of the group we meet up with outside in this law place. Then we go back to our guild hall and we have some conversation on what we're going to be doing going forward. We have a couple more jobs that we want to finish in Amon, including a Medusa fight and a dragon fight. And then there's also apparently a big tournament that is coming up within 2 weeks of the date in our campaign.
I can't wait for that. It's gonna be so fun.
So
I had a huge brainstorm about that. We can get into that later. But,
I just want more information. I want to know.
Well,
you'll get it probably next session, honestly.
Maybe Jacob will sneak us a couple hints here, but
okay.
I mean, I already gave you a huge one in the letter that you guys got, which was in.
Oh, I know.
Episode.
We'll go over it.
Yeah.
We'll go over it. It was in episode 29. Hunter found it, or Anzu found it on his desk. But yeah, we chill out, and that's kind of how that episode ends. Was just with us chilling out and finishing up all that. Then we go on and. Sorry, can you just brought me food?
What kind of
I
food?
put a lot of salt on it, don't worry.
It's asparagus with a lot of salt on it.
Do you know why there's a lot of salt on it?
Because Kimmy
Caleb
cooked
is
it.
Salty.
Oh, okay. All right, so is there anything that happened at the end of 29 that any of you guys can think of other than the conversations of us just kind of thinking about moving forward?
Anzu and Thea had a nice moment.
Oh yeah.
They had a nice moment. That was cool.
Yeah.
I guess.
That was cool,
Right.
I guess.
Okay.
Did Abby?
Say
Did you?
cool or it wasn't?
Abby, did you give me the reading at the end of 29?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
a little tarot card reading.
yeah. So Thea gave me a
What
tarot card
questions
reading.
Did you ask?
One question was whether or not I was actually moving towards saving the people that I want to save in a broad way. And so
I think the answer to that one was no.
yeah. And then the other one was something along the lines of like, I forget what the second question was. It was
The second one was a yes.
yeah, the second one that I remember was a yes, but both of those answers in my mind were flipped on what they should have been. But I think Animus is now kind of doubting both answers because realistically, I don't know as a character. Jumping into 30, though, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Jump-
The only other thing was like me and Anzu had a little moment where he was like doing some reading or something, and I was just trying to have like a nice moment with him, and like I went into his office and I was like, "Can I sit here and read?" And then he was like clearly hiding something, so I like we had a little like
moment. If you guys don't know, we are still being watched by these little eyeballs every once in a while. We haven't seen them this day at the end of the day, but they were there around the night before and that morning. So going into episode 30, it was pretty much just preparation for our next journey, which is going to be us heading up to fight a Medusa and then heading up to fight the dragon. We haven't had any big fights in a while. Tabitha was a pretty big fight, but it wasn't like a big boss, like a big dragon or like a Medusa. I can't say it wasn't a boss because Tabitha definitely was a boss fight for me, almost dying 3 times.
I don't think I really did anything. I think I threw one guiding bolt and then I was just like, no, let's just heal. I mean,
sometimes that's the job of the cleric, though.
Yeah.
Is it? I didn't know.
And so getting into episode 30, we start kind of, Braun goes out and he starts talking to the Slayer Stake about what we need to do moving forward on the Medusa fight. They give us a little information. I go up to Mathis's library and kind of look around for some information on how to kill demons. It's the same thing he told me. Basically, you have to kill them on both the material plane and then go back and kill them from their original plane, which could be any of the underworldly planes depending on what demon you're trying to kill. In my case, it's the Abyss. Then going from there, I went down to a scroll shop in right next to the Alabaster Lyceum. Is that what it is?
Yep,
and it's owned by this little gnome guy who apparently was failed in a class by Anzu, so he wasn't too happy when I said Anzu's name and the fact that we're a new guild. But I was able to buy a bunch of books get a bunch of books from him, and he said that we're going to buy scrolls from him from now on. That was the deal. I got free books, and we only buy our scrolls from him, other than Anzu, who's not allowed to be there. Then we go and do some shopping. The rest of the group's doing a little bit of shopping. I'm trying to think of what else. Thea, what were you doing what was Thea doing at the time?
I did some shopping. I took care of that little plant that I planted that I'm hoping will one day grow into a big tree.
Yeah.
But and then I told Jacob I wanted to do some research, but he hasn't given me the actual information.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna come up.
We can talk about it.
I did want to add to my research just a little bit. Nothing crazy. I just wanted to do some research about the tree that I planted also and what that's supposed to grow into.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
I think you should already know that though.
Yeah, because we saw it.
I mean, yeah, vaguely, but I just want to get.
Oh no. So, I guess a clarification is needed. So when you guys talked with the Dryad, she told you what it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, she basically was like, yeah, it'll make you either live for a really long time or immortal. I can't remember, but I was just I just wanted to know if there was any more information about it past that. That was it. Who should and shouldn't eat it. I know she kind of gave me that kind of information, but I just wanted to double check. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, so Jacob, was there any other big things that was happening with any other members of the group?
Not that I know of.
Lochnar did go down to a fight in a kind of it was an underground ring kind of thing, just a bunch of dudes who fought during the day, but if you lose, you die by getting eaten by sharks. And Lochnar walked in and immediately stabbed this dude, slashed him, and the guy was fucking crazy and ended up just having Lochnar kill him, and then he fell in the water and died. Lochnar was kicked out because he was too good. The rest of us kind of just went out, grabbed some stuff, and then I got the horses ready. We had Garnash kind of keep an eye on the bar as always, or the tavern as always. And then we headed out for our Medusa fight, and so we headed up north. Started off northwest because of some horrible instincts from, I think, Braun. And then we got on the right track, went northeast. We ended up at the Medusa's crypt area, and then set up a camp for the night, and then that was it. That's how we ended episode 30. So we ended going into a big fight. So we're gonna have a couple small conversations just going around. We don't have too many questions. I mean, there's not really much to ask. But for the question that Zach does have, do you want to go ahead and start it off, Zach?
Yeah, sure. So for Jacob, so in episode 29, kind of when everything was going down with Zagon and Animus, I believe it was Rebecca and the Master of Law, whose name I can't remember.
Bathar?
Bathar?
Mm-hmm.
That guy. They went into a room and had a conversation. And like 20-30 minutes later, came back out to Braun. I guess kind of what went down during that conversation.
I mean, she was just explaining what Zygon and Animus did when they came to see her. Basically, it might have gotten a little bit more detailed, but yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Gotcha.
All right.
No fun, juicy details.
Nothing too fun and juicy.
No, not really. When it comes to business, she's very matter of fact and very, I guess, straightforward. So yeah, there's nothing really like crazy that happened.
So I will bring up. Jake, are you clicking a pen right now?
Quit it.
Stop it. So I actually have a question on the cards that me and Abby played.
Yeah.
It's a question for both of you, so I'll start with the first part of the question. Number one, I knew you've been waiting to use those, and it's hard to bring those out in a game because it would either have to be Jacob playing it or us remembering, hey, Thea has these cards she can read us with. Why don't we use that?
Yeah. I haven't really known what to do because I've gone to Jacob a couple of times and been like, oh, I want to go have Thea do tarot cards, and there was one time where he was like, okay, you make 5 silver, and it's obviously we don't really have time to get into it and stuff, but there was when we did the guild opening, I was hoping maybe I was I want to go read some tarot cards, and he was like, okay, you make 5 silver, and I was kind of hoping I could have an interaction where I actually read an NPC's tarot cards, but obviously that is still kind of a weird difficult thing to do off the cuff,
yeah, it's
necessarily just to be okay, here's a random person you can talk to. So
it's definitely a timing thing for sure. Well,
for sure.
I think it definitely should be used more. Sorry, I did not mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you're fine. I don't really know what I was trying to keep going.
It's definitely something that we should take advantage of more because nobody in our group has a significant source of power that we can trust fully, other than you. And in a lot of campaigns you actually see a couple people who usually have some sort of source of power that they follow, whether it's actually for their power or just a religion kind of thing. So it's definitely I don't know why we've definitely taken advantage of the Moonweaver and been hey, do you know what's going on here? But I think the psychic reading stuff, that's a big part of your character, and I think we should take part in doing that more often.
Definitely something I want to work on more, especially just because I do it for fun, in real life. Obviously I don't put a bunch of stock into it, but it is a fun thing, and it's something I have a little bit of knowledge about. It's not just something I was ooh, I bet this would be fun.
Yeah.
It's something I'm interested in, and I think it'd be an interesting way to really kind of characterize Thea and actually role play a little better. It kind of brings something interesting. And whenever you were okay, Thea gave me a reading, I just gave you a reading. I wasn't okay, what would work for the story? I just kind of fucking did it, and I was I'll make it work, you know?
Go ahead, keep going.
Oh, that's it. I'm probably just gonna finish my sentence with
I jump in quickly after I think people in their sentences just because I try to keep the conversation going, but that's on me.
Don't worry. You're good.
My question for Jacob then on top of that is, Jacob, if we start having that be something we bring up every once in a while, would you rather if I were to ask a question, hey, I'll just ask a very blatant one. Are my parents still alive or something like that? And if the answer is yes, would you want to tell Abby to say, hey, you pull a card and the answer is yes? Or do you want her to actually play out how the reading would go in her cards? And the answer I got was no. The people that I'm trying to save at this point are probably not alive.
I would say again, you guys have talked about it, it's a time thing. Also, tarot cards, they're random, so it's kind of hard to set it up to do an interpretation that we want. Also, Abby doesn't know the story like I do, and that's just because of the relationship that we're in here. So she wouldn't necessarily be able to answer everything truthfully unless I told her story stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Because
like
there's a lot of different factors, but like I would be fine with Abby doing a reading on an NPC. It's just a lot of the time it's just a time thing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
If
it's just hard to cram a ton into 3 hours.
If she does it on a character, would you rather give would you rather her say, okay, I'm going to do tarot reading, set it up like we're in a bar and we're like sitting down and it's like, okay, Thea flips a card over and then you say yes or no? Or would you rather it be like one of our characters sits down and Abby actually flips a card and it's like yes or no compared on like depending on what she actually pulls in real life?
I mean, so tarot cards in the D&D universe are used for divination, and divination is not an exact science, so I'd be fine with Thea doing it. It'd be fine for me. It's just that, like, I wouldn't take the information as truth. I would take it as a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's always, like, it doesn't always have to be, like, a yes or no tarot reading, too. Like, I could just, like, I don't know if you've seen the beginning of, like, Campaign 2 of Critical Role, like, Molly at the beginning gives Jester a reading and, like, literally just, like, Taliesin just, like, pulls it out of his ass. And it's, like, I mean, I could also just do that. Like, it doesn't have to be, like...
Yeah, I mean, and
I like...
It could be like, oh, I pulled this, I could set them up myself and be like, this is what I think.
Yeah, I think it's better if you just do it because it kind of gives us as a character like because like Animus is already confused as hell in like what's going on because Jacob's like, oh, I'm just gonna be like, hey, fuck your character, here's your backstory that I'm gonna completely trash all over the place, which is so fun. But
Jacob, what did you think when I did that tarot reading? Like,
oh, I was fine with it.
Was it accurate? Was it accurate?
What was the question again?
The first question was, am I currently fighting towards
are you like on the right path?
Am I on the right path on what my fight is towards? Like,
I mean, that's vague. I'm never gonna know the answer to that. That's pretty vague. Next question.
I forget what the second one was, I'm not gonna lie.
Boom.
The second, alright, cool.
I can't tell you then.
The second one was a yes, but I forget what. I think if Abby just plays it as an actual tarot reading, it would be fun, and I think that's where we are with that.
Like,
I mean, yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah,
ultimately.
there's like one I do like at home a lot is like past, present, future readings, and like I think those would be a lot easier to play out in character because like I can, like read cards and like interpret them what Thea knows about your character.
Yeah. And
like I think those would probably go a little better than like yes no things. I just was like, you just like threw it at me and I was like,
yeah, I wanted to throw it in. I'm sorry.
But I love
Be prepared for that in the future, even though it might not get used as much as we want it to.
Yeah.
But
I was just like, I don't know how I can do this I was like, what's the simplest way? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a heads up next time if I decide to do that.
I mean, it's fine. Now I'm like, I think I have an idea of like the best way to do that. But...
Yeah. So Jacob, let's get into this tournament talk.
Okay. Questions?
I just want to know, like, what was on Hunter's notes that we are currently missing in our heads? Because I don't remember what was on that note.
Basically that there was a tournament in Onoa in 2 weeks, and it's being conducted by a person named Goldfleece.
We don't know like what kind of tournament. Like, is it like a team tournament, individuals
it calls for a team, so it is a team thing.
So like we'd all be fighting together.
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
You guys don't know team size. It honestly could be you guys, like, if you guys get there and they're like, we only have teams of 3, then you guys could choose to split into 2 teams of 3.
Or just have 3 people fight. Actually, no, that'd be sick to have 3 versus 3.
Yeah. I mean, so, like, I have plans for how to make this highlight individual characters and show like different things, and it's going to be based off of stats. It's going to be based off the character stat block.
Sweet.
So essentially, in order to qualify, you guys are going to have to split into different contests in order for your team to qualify, and you'll just have to win or place in a majority of the contests in order to qualify as a team.
I like this idea.
This is interesting.
This is a fun idea.
So essentially what it is there's going to be a strength, dexterity, constitution, wisdom, intelligence, and charisma competition.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you guys will have to choose from your group who competes in what.
Yo, I got that high wisdom though.
And if someone in your group competes in a thing, they can't compete in another.
Do we have two of us with high wisdom?
Yeah.
Is it me and you?
And then your high charismas are Zygon and Braun. Your high strengths are essentially just Lochnar.
Yeah.
I have no strength.
Your high constitutions, I think, are Lochnar and
I have a +3 on
Zygon,
Constitution.
and I think Animus technically, but
I have like a 15.
you guys will have to decide before you know what the contests are.
Yeah.
Hey, if we had to go straight into battle though, we do have 2 healers.
So the beginning of the tournament, there is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got
Druids have a ton of healing magic. I just don't
Druids
use.
can heal.
I don't use any of them. I have mass cure wounds or mass cure wounds.
What I
healing
will
word.
say is that this tournament is not all about fighting. It's more of a. It's more of like a festival sort of thing. It's kind of like the Olympics, I would say, is kind of a good comparison. What I still haven't nailed it down yet because I don't think you guys will make it there the next session, but I think the session after.
We also have a dragon fight, Jacob.
Oh, I didn't know if you guys were going to go do that before or after the tournament.
Probably before. Because we're doing the
so-
Medusa
That's the plan right now.
move
So
up
that's
to
probably
dragon.
the next. Yeah, for the fans, it's probably the next 5 weeks then, because the tournament's probably going to take 3 sessions.
Oh, okay. I
Interesting.
was like, the dragon fight's gonna take 5 episodes.
Yeah, it's going to take 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So what I'm toying with right now is like what to make all the different contests. The intelligence one is going to be solving riddles.
That ain't
So
for me.
that's you're gonna have to figure out. And I think what I'm gonna do is there's gonna be 5 riddles, and they get harder as you go.
Oh, boy.
And you just have to, like, whoever gets the most correct is how they place.
Interesting.
Remember that one dungeon where we just like could not solve the
We just
riddles
couldn't
to
do
save
it.
our lives?
We
And
just
everyone
couldn't
in
do
the
it.
chat was like, "Oh, come on, guys," and I was like,
Just couldn't do it. Remember that one? Remember that one dungeon?
The
the
bottle
fucking
of
air in the bottle." Yeah.
Remember that
We were
one
like,
dungeon where
"Oh."
I jumped up on top of the thing and I held my breath, and Jake counted it because that technically it was air.
It's technically air being held in a container, which is what the riddle required.
Well, that's why we take it into our campaigns. Shit,
I
we
think
do.
the Constitution contest is going to be an eating contest. I think that's just funny.
It'd be fun if it was drinking. No, eating's good because we obviously Lochnar would win if it was just drinking.
But the rest I'm kind of just toying with right now, so I'm not quite ready. But there's a tease for the audience.
So we're hoping that
I know Zach's excited.
I'm very excited.
as of right
This is
now,
a lot of fun.
we've got the Medusa fight coming up. Probably we'll get Medusa fight done within the episode and move on to getting to a dragon fight. Dragon fight could take longer than an episode depending on how we play it, but we should expect it to take about an episode. Then we move back down to Amon. I'm not trying to plan episodes ahead, but like realistically right now we're in a pretty we can pretty much say what we're gonna do, unless something happens. So
I have a question.
yeah.
This is
I'm
for
ready.
Zach. Zach,
Oh,
if you had to okay, so for this tournament thing, if you had to pick 2 teams out of the 6 of us to go against each other, what would your teams be?
If it was just straight fighting,
Straight.
Yeah, if we were just fighting each other, who do you think?
So I would split.
How would you split?
So okay, so to make it entertaining,
Yeah.
I would split. Lochnar and Braun apart.
Right.
Put them
That's
on
what I was
two teams.
thinking.
Yeah, because they could shotgun people if they were together.
Yeah. And then
Ooh.
I would probably split the Demon Brothers.
No, don't do it to us.
I mean, to make it entertaining, right?
You know
and
you
then,
had to do it to him.
And then
Sorry.
Andrew Thea, I would put on different teams.
Yeah.
That's exactly what my teams would be. I would do Braun, Animus, Anzu, and then Thea, Lochnar, Zygon.
All right, so do you want to hear my thought on this to make it entertaining? Me and Zygon's demons are not getting along right now. There's probably a war going on in the abyss that we don't know about,
Which is why you separate them.
which is why we put us on the same team. Our powers are all coming from two demons that are fighting each other currently. So you throw us on the same team, what happens? What the fuck happens to our power? We're just fighting next to each other now, and our
I mean,
demons
you
are like,
guys
fuck
have
you
been-
guys.
Yeah, but you guys have been working together with your demons this whole time.
Then we also
so-
have Lochnar on our team. So you have the 3 people who are the more likely to do evil stuff, and then the 3 people who are more likely to do the more lawful and good stuff on a team.
Yeah, and then Braun takes care of you, and then Anzu takes care of Lochnar because Lochnar doesn't have magical resistance, and if Anzu or Lochnar or Anzu or Braun get hurt, Thea can just heal them back to full.
I
Yeah.
have healing.
I think
Literally,
your
there's-
team would be destroyed, Caleb.
Yeah, there's really like I don't take that much. Not trying to be like, but like when we go into battle, I have not been taking much damage unless it's area effects. Like either it's because Jacob doesn't care enough to hit me, or like
It's because you don't heal, so the people you're fighting don't see you healing, so they don't know to focus you. They just see
Alright.
Anzu exploding stuff.
Alright,
Yeah, that is true.
well, that is a valid point. But
so to
like,
make like a tanky team, like if you just went full tank team to just wreck house, I think Braun, Lochnar, and
Thea. Oh. I was thinking
Yeah.
Braun, Lochnar, Thea, because if you have one person who's like constantly sitting back healing both of them at the same time, and then you have 2 dudes who have multiple attacks per round, and all of their attacks are doing major damage every hit if they hit.
See, I was thinking Anzu as more of like a ranged kind of fight.
Yeah. I think
Well, another thing is that if you guys fought each other, you would know who to focus better. Because like when you're fighting random people, they don't know immediately that Thea is the healer or that Anzu is the mage.
they
so-
may never know.
Yeah, exactly. You never know.
I would like to put it out there. If we were to get in a fight again, I know everyone would focus me because I won the last one, but realistically, you should focus
should
Braun
focus
first. Braun
No,
first.
I think yeah, but Braun. you
I
can
can't do
easily
that much
deal with.
damage.
Like all Thea has to do is banish Braun, and then he's gone. And then
Imagine.
your health pool,
Michael's just like,
Caleb, is like 300 HP or more now because of your elementals.
it's
So
definitely
Oh, I forgot about that element.
like 350. If I push the high, it could push 400 if I wanted it to, honestly.
now, if there are certain spells that Thea has access to that prevent shapeshifting, so she could, if she was able to lock you down, I think, like the hypothetical team Zach put out. So say Thea locks Animus down, and then Braun can immediately kill you. I think Braun could kill Animus in 1 turn.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
all he would have to do, Thea's standing in front of Animus, and then Braun goes around, and he has sneak attack plus advantage because he
Yeah.
is flanking.
And
I
my
think he
only
can kill you in 1 round.
my only defense would be whether, depending on what elemental I actually could turn into if Thea didn't get off the shapeshifting block, and if I were to conjure any sort of backup, because I can conjure elementals, I can
Yeah.
conjure fae, I can conjure animals, like.
Yeah. And I mean, I do have like area effect damaging spells like Spirit Guardians is such a solid fucking spell, honestly, because you take damage either way just
Yeah,
by being within 15 feet of me, and I can make you slow the fuck down.
this is a
And,
good
like,
conversation.
I don't know. I love this. This is a shit I've
I
been
know,
thinking about in my
so
brain.
If I was going to fight you guys, I would focus probably I think my order would be somehow deal with Braun to where he can't fight anymore, not necessarily kill him. Lochnar, I don't think is that big of a problem because he misses a lot.
Yeah, Corey just has the worst luck on.
Yeah, and so I think you have to deal with Anzu and Thea quickly because like Thea is able to heal and Anzu is able to deal out a lot of magical damage and a lot of things don't have magical resistance. So,
Haha, take me for granted, you do.
I mean, the thing about Animus though is like if you can't shapeshift, you're gonna be in trouble.
That's true, but that's if I can't shapeshift.
Well, yeah, but if I was gonna build a dream team to take you guys out, I would specifically bring a cleric that is a druid killer.
Yeah, I mean,
I
yeah.
also can polymorph. I think we forget this. Like, I don't do it. But
As can Anzu.
I'm so this is just an insight for if anyone wants to know. I am probably gonna start taking up more area effect slash what am I thinking of? Area effect in like what are helping what is the word I'm thinking of? Like helping,
Buffs.
assisting, buffs, like those kind of spells.
I just thought of something that a Braun, Anzu, Thea team could do. So Thea polymorphs Animus into something, and then Anzu polymorphs into something that can fly and takes it so high up in the air that you'll reach terminal velocity. And when you come down, you have Braun standing below with his swords raised. Animus would fall into Braun's swords, taking fall damage from terminal velocity, which is like 30 d10. Then he would take damage from Braun's swords.
But
You're just giving me ideas.
But hold on, if you polymorphed me,
Can druids shape change out of polymorph? Is the thing.
I
don't think so.
I don't know if we can.
And if you polymorph something and it drops to 0 HP, the excess damage
Yeah.
goes onto the creature.
But I would have a couple rounds to figure it out. If you're putting me up to terminal velocity and my fall speed is a certain amount.
It depends on what Anzu would turn into. Like if he turned into a dragon, he could get you up there probably in a turn or two.
Yeah. But then my fall speed's like 80 feet a second or something like that. I don't know how much it is. Or 80 feet around or something like that. I forget what
Yeah,
it is.
but you still would reach, like if you're a mouse, you're not gonna you can't cast spells when you're polymorphed either, so
That's something to look into. Is that can I shape change out of a polymorph?
I don't think so.
I don't think I can. And
I think
you would
have to succeed on the wisdom save.
do I keep
which is not
intelligence?
hard for you. I think so. I think you keep your stats. You just get changed physically.
I keep
You lose your
I
HP.
keep wisdom, intelligence, and
Your strength and your dex go away. I think.
strength and dex and charisma. What am I missing? Charisma, constitution. Strength, dex, and constitution go away. Wisdom, charisma, and intelligence stay the same.
What would be okay? So then the other team is Lochnar, Zygon, and Animus. There's not a lot of cool interactions that you guys can do.
We can
It's more of just we explode you and then Lochnar cleans up the mess.
Yeah, if you take care of my infinite health pool like right away, I think that's an immediate win.
Yeah, because I don't think like if you put everybody against each other, I think the only one that might be able to stand a chance like is Braun versus Lochnar, just because Lochnar would take half damage from everything.
Yeah.
From Braun.
Yeah.
So
Unless Braun
that's
starts
immediately-
taking serious damage.
yeah.
What's his health at even?
It's not that
it's
high.
something.
I'm at a 90.
Like, I'm at 91.
I'm at 94. Braun can just halves and get rid of like almost all the damage done to him though.
I mean,
Oh,
Braun averages like 60 to 70 damage a turn.
Yeah.
Fucking
So, because swashbucklers are a little broken, in my opinion.
It's fun
But
to watch, so.
I mean, yeah, it makes for good content. But we can theory craft all day, but I know we're probably wanting to get out of here. So
Yeah. Well-
anybody else have
conversation,
questions?
though.
No, I think that was a good conversation. This is a
And
good.
it might be something that you guys are going to have to deal with in
I want
the
to do
future.
another battle royale. I think that would be really fun.
I want to
We could
run.
around.
I want to run one with Jacob or with me as DM. Jacob playing Traxar. That'd be sick.
Ooh. I would either play trap. I think I would want to. If I was going to pick an NPC to play in a battle royale, I would want to be Garnash.
Oh, it could be Garnash actually,
Garnash.
and then bring Zach into play Rupert or Sophocles.
That would be fun.
That would be kind of fun.
If you play Soph, though, you have to speak in a fake bad French accent.
Not happening.
Come on.
We.
You can't do it, Zach.
No.
Oh, come on.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump out of this. This was a good conversation. You always love to hear these kind of conversations.
And you can tweet at us what your dream team of the group would be, your dream three, and how they would win, and that would be a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We've got completely caught up, so next week we will be recapping this week's episode. So that is how that is going to work from now on, hopefully.
That means I have to watch one episode.
All you have to do is watch the episode on Sunday night.
Maybe Zach will finally be called host.
Yeah, I will. Okay, so I will also say if we have what Jacob just said tonight, Chapter 2 should start in exactly a month from right now. So we've been talking about how we're hoping to get it up in like a couple weeks or a month or so for the past few weeks. But now we have like our official date will probably be mid-November, either 2 weeks into November or right before
the giving of thanks.
The giving of thanks. Chapter 1 will be ending pretty much around the end of the year. Around the holiday season, we'll be doing a couple one-shots as well. So Chapter 2 will start us up, but also be having a couple one-shots so that people can maybe, if they've never seen our channel before, they can jump in, watch the one-shot, see what we're all about. I know Abby's thinking about running a one-shot. I think I'm thinking about running a one-shot. Hunter wants to run a one-shot. We've got a lot of options. So if you guys want, go ahead and tell some people, see if they want to watch a one-shot. Also, we got our full Chapter 1 recap that me and Jacob are going to start working on. We're going to get all the main points of each character throughout the past year that we've been playing. But yeah, so check out that kind of stuff. We've got more stuff coming in the next few weeks that we're going to be shouting out. But yeah, we are done for tonight. Come check us out on Sunday nights around 6 o'clock to about 9 to 9:15. And yeah, check us out next week with another recap episode. Thanks you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for the beeping in the background.